Hello everybody! Can you hear me? Can you see me? I don't know if I can hear me or see me, so that's always good. I'm getting no data everywhere, so there's bound to be some... I don't know. If you can hear me or see me, please let me know, because I'm kind of flying blind tonight. I have just rebuilt this PC. In fact, I've built the PC that I'm streaming from about 3 or 4 different PCs. So, as Brian says, Graham was having PC build issues. He is indeed. Yippee! All good. Good. I hope that means you can see me, because I can't see me. Or there we go. It even says excellent connection. Oh, what a time. Welcome everyone to the Friday night live stream Fishy business. I've resurrected from the days of old. You can't really see that. The Aquarium Adventures mug. Oh, that's got a clock on it. Okay, that didn't work. But anyway, I deserve this because I've had a right royal time. I've even got my little bottle opener. And we're back to the olden days. A bit of Franny Cranny. Hope you're having a tasty beverage and snack. Healthy, of course, as always. For those of you that are interested, and remember, this was the first weird beer suggestion that I actually liked. So we're doing a bit of a throwback today. Everything's going to be about the past year that's just gone and the year that's to come. And as you can see, I'm no better a barman. So we'll let that settle for a little while. How is everybody? Who have we got in? We see Ross Hale. Susan's in. Susan's in ahead of Brian. Well done, Susan. Silver Surfer, nice to see you. Brian Watt, good evening. From a windy Wolverhampton, Stuart Laker's in. Tommy's here. Silver Creek Wildlife. Howdy, howdy there, fellow humans. I'm definitely a human. I'm just doing human things. Good. Ross from a cold and windy Edinburgh. It's definitely dropped down a little degree or two over here. What are we at? We're currently at 4 degrees Celsius here in Sheffield. But nice and toasty in here. As you can see, I've dressed up for the occasion. That's why I'm covered in thermal paste and general goop and dirt and dust and all kinds of things. I'll bore you all to tears with my PC woes shortly, don't worry. As soon as I can see you all. God, I need a haircut as well. Need a New Year haircut. All good, thank you. And Aquarium Delirium, loud and vleer. I hope that's a good thing. Nice to see you. And Juggler's here, Brian's here, Kimberly, Jeffrey, me a cup of tea. A what? Johnny Dansfish. How's Megatank? I haven't had time to keep up the past few weeks. Megatank. These fish are still here. There's a reason for that. These are the Megatank inhabitants. Let me get rid of that. We're a bit squint. Are we a bit squint? That's not the usual. I'm going to try and tempt fate here and break the camera. No, that's not quite right either. Close enough. I kind of scored an own goal when it comes to Megatank. If you were here last week, you remember that I was doing a bit of preventative maintenance where we had the tiniest of tiniest little teeny weeny leaks, or moisture egress rather than leak, let's call it that. And I had this tank free, so I thought I'll get the big fish in here, do the maintenance. I added some valves, I did some bits and bobs, and I was going to give it a few days. The tank was filled last week as we were on, and I came down one day, and the way that whenever I have any catastrophic failure from Megatank is out here, so Megatank's over there, but out this way is the rest of the garage, and when I open the garage door I see puddles on the floor and I go, oh no. So I came down Christmas Eve, I think it was. Yeah, it might have been Christmas Eve, came down, opened the garage door, big puddle of water, and I was like, oh god damn it, because normally when I fill Megatank, and if it's going to have a problem, it gives me a day or two before it actually has a problem. And that was a day or two after I'd filled it. So I was just not in the mood, shall we say. I was in a bit of a less than buoyant mood. So I just stormed around, effing and jeffing, emptied the tank, went away and did all my other Christmas preparations that I had to do, and then thought, right, I'll get back to it. And went down, and there was still a puddle on the floor. So it had emptied. It had been empty for hours, and by Christmas Eve evening, it was still water running out. And what had happened was, the way this house is situated, because I'm in the garage, if it's heavy rains and if there's floods, the groundwater rises and it floods from the ground up. And what had happened is it's actually flooded from the ground up rather than from the tank down, and it hadn't leaked. So I was just a bit of a mess and had emptied it for no reason. So, being Christmas, I thought, right, fine, I'll just leave these in here a few more days, it's not going to hurt. Waited for everything to calm down and the rain to go away, which it hasn't really. It's rained almost non-stop here ever since. So I took the chance to do some more preventive maintenance. I did a bit more sealing. I went round all the glass where it meets and checked all the seals there. I added a couple of extra braces underneath and around to the side in the last couple of days, and generally have been giving it. I've just not had time to sit down here and monitor the filling of the tank and everything. It's Christmas, there's other things going on, so I've just let it dry, extra long, extra dry, make sure it's right. It's ready to fill, I just haven't filled it. So that's the next step, is I'm going to fill it again probably tomorrow, because it's been sat for a good few days drying out. One of the things I noticed when I did drain it is when you touch some of the corners, not the corners necessarily, there's some squidgy bits where you can see there's moisture trapped underneath by several layers of liquid rubber, and I think that's just from when it was leaking, that moisture stuff that I talked about. Me going over it and over it and over it has just kind of trapped that underneath, so I've been trying to get that out and pressure it out. I've had fans running to dry the wood out and just get everything good. I think it'll make for a better repair, or that's the idea, and that's what I keep telling myself anyway. But while I've been doing that, monitoring what's going on in this tank, and the parameters are fine, doing water changes here, there's no real aggression. I think they get a bit fed up if I left them in here too much longer. But touch wood, everything's okay, and we'll get them in over the next 3 or 4 days, because again, I want to fill it tomorrow, leave it for a few days, double check that there's no more leaks, and then get them back in once it's up to temperature and everything. Because it's such a big tank, it takes a while to get up to temperature. So that's how Mega Tank is. It has been running problem-free for about a year, and then I decided to give it some problems, and as always, it gave me some problems back, as it tends to do. So, Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope you had a good one. I do want to hear what your Christmas treats have been. What have you been up to these last few days? Is there anybody here? How many viewers have we got? 41 viewers at the moment. Well done, everyone, for Remembrance Friday. I only remembered it was Friday earlier today, because it's a bit like, what day are we on? Who knows what's going on? So, we're in that down, weird period between Christmas and New Year. So, Merry Christmas, everyone. Hope you've had a good one. Let me know in the comments, what have you been up to over this festive period? Do you get any fishy gifts given or received? Let me know. So yes, we're starting the night with the Franny Cranny. Can't see through it. Tastes a bit like lager. Everyone's happy. I've been saving my good beers for Hogmanay. So I hope that answers your question. Johnny Dansfish. Is that Dansfish as in Dansfish? You're not Dan. Oh, I'm a bit behind with what's going on. Lanks Fishkeeper, evening from Preston. Nice to see you. From Bolton, we've got Lee. Good evening, everyone. Hope you're well. Hope you've survived all the hurricanes or tornadoes or whatever it was that we had. And I don't know if it was Bolton, but it was Greater Manchester, wasn't it? I think I'm just making these glasses dirtier every time I try and clean them. Who else have we got? We'll do some intros. We do have a quiz tonight for everyone to remember. The theme of tonight's quiz is the year. The year gone past, the year to come. So, if you want to go away and do some revision, 2023/24, that's what you're revising. Warren, time to enjoy a rum and a live stream. Quite nice, quite nice, quite right and quite nice. Oh, I needed that. Dave the Diver, very much. When I said there was no aggression? We may really be there. Stillwater, hello. We may have missed it, but what happened to the flower horn? The flower horn did not make it. He had a short but fatal illness, I guess. Yeah, so R.I.P. Humphrey. Simon's sorry he's late. That's quite alright, Simon. You're allowed. Stuart Wheeler, long time not making the live stream. Tonight's tonight. Oh, welcome. Lots of old and new faces. Pardon me. Evening all. Sorry I'm a bit late, says Scott. I was just sorting the angel out. Swimming piece. Oh no. Not good. I'm on the honey jack tonight. Didn't realise I had 4 bottles in the cupboard until my partner's brother brought me a bottle for Christmas. Yes, I think I've got about 6 litres of Jim Beam needing to be attacked. So if you want to share or do a swap, I can help you out. What we're going to do for entertainment in 24, Graham has finally fixed Mega Tank. Let's not get carried away. I'm sure there'll be something else that will go horribly wrong. Hi from Sweden. A late hi from Hans. Nice to see you anyway. Tim, sorry missed last week. I was forced to socialise in the real world. I hate it when that happens. I did some socialising in the real world this week and last week. In fact, I'm over-socialised. I'm glad to just be virtually socialising with you lot. Brian's going to buy a camera and stream. Brian kills a tank by resealing. It's hard to kill a tank by resealing it. It's just hard. It's an easy process that's easy to get wrong as well, I guess. But it's not too bad. Rebecca's here. Got distracted doing a Sudoku challenge for intelligent men. Oh dear. Sudokus, you can't go wrong. You can't miss a Sudoku. Like, what? Have you seen Die Hard yet? Come on. I'm going to keep hounding you about this until you've watched it. I ordered 2 pairs of Bellone socks. That's not how you pronounce that. Belize. I'm going to have to Google that because I don't know what that means. Ooh, pipe killifish. I don't know if you can see any of that. Nope. That worked well. That might prove challenging when I come to do the quiz if I can't have my desktop. So I have to explain. My PC didn't die. I killed it. Is that the way to look at this? For Christmas, my son started getting into his PC, or one of my sons has started getting into computing and upgrading his PC and all kinds of things. So he'd asked for certain things. And one of the things he'd asked for was an upgrade to his CPU cooler. Basically, he wanted it to be more RGB, because more RGB equals more frames, as we all know. So I had bought him an upgraded one, and I thought, we'll have a great father-son moment where I impart my wisdom on how to upgrade PCs and how to fix things and what does what and how it all works together. So step 1 is we need to remove the old chiller. And as I was about to say, so we need to be very careful when we do this, so as we don't damage the CPU as we pull the cooler off. And he went, like this. So we had some bent pins, for those in the know, that I couldn't unbend properly. So fine. I gave him the CPU out of my PC, because that was a bit of an upgrade for him, and I thought, cheekily, boy has forced me to buy him a CPU, I'll get a new CPU for myself. So I bought myself a fancy Dan new CPU, stuck that in, and just for about a week now I've been fighting with it because it was not for installing properly. I'll be very quick with this because it's very boring. But the motherboard claimed to not be compatible despite showing up on the compatibility list for the new CPU. I couldn't flash the motherboard because I didn't have an old enough CPU that worked. So I was just basically trying to hack the thing to get it to work. I could almost get it to work, but it just wasn't having any of it. So fine, I bought a new motherboard. I had the same issue with the new version of the firmware for the new BIOS on the new motherboard. Wouldn't be having it. Again, tried to hack that. Downgraded it to 1 to finally get it to work, and that was today. So I had a new motherboard, old RAM, new CPU, just bits from different PCs all cobbled together, and I'm here going, God, turn on, you bastard, get working. So we're working, because some of you can hear and see what I'm saying. But it's weird, because I've literally had like an hour to sort things out. I couldn't get the NIC wouldn't fire up, I couldn't do updates, all kinds of things were going on. So I think we're okay, or we're on the road to being okay. Next week will be okay, but I'm expecting lots and lots of this. So we'll see what happens. The first one is I tried to share my screen there. So I've got a button here that I press and it shows my desktop. And it shows you a black screen, which is always nice. So let me see if I can figure that out, because if I can't figure it out, that's going to be a problem. Oh, there's me. I've turned up. That's good. But I need to find... The screen needs to show up though, or that's going to be problematic when we come to do the quiz. How do we do that? How do we do that? Oh, we do it like that. I don't know how we do that. It just magically happened. Fine, I'll take that. So I was trying to show you what that fish was. Does that work? That's kind of in the right general area. A pipe killifish, that's what it is. Ooh, that's fancy. That's comical. I like that picture. Arrgh! Oh God, I'm really not with it today. Why won't that work? Right, okay. Some more weirdness I need to sort out. No. Is that better? Ish. Close enough. Right, we're kind of back on track. Still not halfway finished the puzzle. Well, if you want to jump on stream, we can do it together if you like. Share it with everyone. Spandog201 from Harrogate says hello. Excellent. Nice to see you. As always, let me know where you're from. It's been a while since we've done Who's the Furthest Away. That exciting competition that we do in the olden days. If you're from Australia, you were always guaranteed to win. Scott says, it's been that kind of week. I've lost 2 fish this week, 2 different tanks, not cross-contamination and no water issues. Been a while since I lost any fish. Well, take that as the win. The positive is that it doesn't happen very often. Aquarium Domain, if you're interested in Megatank, go and see someone that does it properly. Aquarium Domain down there. I think you've just finished a big tank as well, haven't you? If I saw, or I imagined that, I can't remember. Warren has become a member. Thank you, Warren. Any truth to the rumours you will be building a custom Asian arowana aquarium in 2024? No. It's something I wanted to talk about, is what are my plans for 2024. I'm kind of limited with space because it's getting a bit much now. I've been taking up the entirety of my garage. I can't really take up much more of the house with fish tanks. But where Megatank is, so my Megatank, if you don't know, is 8 foot by 4 foot by 3 foot. And I do think it's a bit of a waste of space, in that I could maybe have 2 8-foot aquariums stacked, or just use the space in a different way. But I've invested quite a lot in Megatank, so I don't know whether I want to change it at all. Obviously I've got this here, and I've got the smaller tanks up in racks, so there's lots of thoughts about, should I just sack off a load of tanks, build more big tanks? Should I sack off big tanks and build more smaller tanks? So I have been doing this back and forward. I've kind of come to the conclusion that I do want to keep. I love these fish. They are proving great. Loving my Oscars, loving my Gordon, loving my Brian, wherever he is. There he is. So them in a Megatank would be great. I really still want to keep I always want to say bass, and I still want to keep rays. And mega tank, kind of perfect for them. Big footprint. So when I'm sure that it's holding water properly and I'm happy with it, then that might be the thing for that. And then do I want to have more grow outs and things for any breeding projects or any future additions to mega tank, or do I want to just keep them as breeding? I've got my discus tank up there they've got wrigglers and free swimmers again, so I might do more with them. Do I want to turn this into a big discus tank? Do I want to turn it into another flower horn tank? I've got all these things just zapping off each other and bouncing off my noggin inside, so I'm not quite sure. But Asian arowanas isn't one of them. Cool as I think they are, and I think it would be good because we are allowed to have them in this country, whereas I know a lot of my American viewers aren't allowed to have them. I did have a Giardini until it decided to commit suicide. That was something I was looking forward to, but put off by, because that was 200 quid well spent. So I don't know, but no, I don't think we'll have any more mega tanks unless I win the lottery or something. It's Euro Millions tonight, isn't it? Oh, you never know. Dangerous Dan, good evening. How you doing, Dangerous Dan? But what I was trying to say is, if you want to know how to build a tank properly rather than how not to build a tank, go and check out Aquarium Domain's channel. Very good content on there. Deserves more focus. Only Oscars, hello June, how we doing? Hello. So this is about the quiz being about the year. How many Prime Ministers did we get throughout this year? I was considering making that one of the questions. We can talk about that because it isn't one of the questions. If you're planning on playing along at home, we've got about 40 minutes till we do the quiz, assuming I can get it to work. Mal's got an Hawaiian shirt with fish on it as a joke present, but it's turned out to be my best present. Yeah, I got a few fishy gifts in the last few years. Didn't get any fishy gifts this year, I don't think. No, not even any jokey fishy gifts. I got a foot warmer, which is always nice. That's my one complaint about here. It's tropical heat in here, but because the ground's not insulated, my feet get cold. So the first 6 inches from the ground up are freezing cold, and then the rest of the room's boiling hot. So I've got myself a little foot warmer. That's quite nice. Lettuce fish is Liz Truss. The tank's looking amazing. This one, it's looking amazing because it's got some awesome fish in it. Yeah, I'll take that. Thank you. Brian's got his second-hand tank delivered tonight. Lots of elbow grease and a possible reseal. Go for it. It's not that hard. It's just daunting. Rip Humphrey, such a shame. Yes, it was indeed. Could have been water companies. Some strange things happening in my tanks. Yeah, I think it is quite common for water companies to do stuff towards the end of the year. I know, certainly, I think it was November when they texted me to let me know about it. So, yeah, it could be that. Good evening, everyone. Bubbling Fins UK, nice to see you. Can you even ship bottles of whiskey outside of retail? Oh, I don't know if we have to tell them. Right, I'm a bit far behind, sorry. I honestly thought that name was a prank to get Graham to say something a la Bart Simpson's bar telephone calls. Yeah, I've not been caught for a while. You can't get me with that kind of thing. A computer says no, basically. Yes, but I'm the type of person who does not like it when the computer says no to me, because I'm the master. The computer does what it's damn well told to, not the other way around. Motherboard, CPU, and all the crap is chaos because of the firmware on both, and Windows fighting so much. Yeah, being someone who works with computers all the time, they infuriate me. So one of the things about it is, if you buy a new CPU, bore alert, I should have some kind of alarm. Boring alert. if, for instance, say I didn't have any computers and was just buying the first one and putting it together, I buy my motherboard and I buy my CPU. But the motherboard has to have the BIOS flashed, so it'll accept the CPU. And to be able to do that, you have to have an older CPU so as you can get it to boot, so as you can flash it. It's like, I must have taken at least 3 PCs I took to bits this week to try and get one PC to work. And I think I've got enough spare parts to build another fairly decent gaming PC. Windows was fine. Windows was the easy bit. Well, this Windows is all the problems I'm going to have now. Sorry I said that. Windows is so far been okay, but once I got to Windows, we were all right. It means Skynet is taking. It's the start of it, isn't it? This is like the lame version of Terminator. Fishfam Link, give a thumbs up to show you're having fun. Thank you, Fishfam Link. Nice to see you again. Nice work. When will you do your massive epic CPU server build? I don't think I will. I'm considering getting rid of the server altogether, because the server's a very old thing. Again, bore alert. Down here I've got my server and my desktop. The desktop's basically a gaming PC, but I have it that spec just so as I can video edit on it. So I've got a pretty decent CPU, a fairly average GPU, but I did do one test edit earlier, and it rips through edit, so I'm looking forward to that, but fine. That's what that's for. If I did play games and stuff, yeah, I'd be able to play most games, that'd be fine. The server is literally held together with hope and duct tape. It's an old... It's terrible. I don't know any other way to describe it other than it's terrible. I mean, it was high spec maybe 10 years ago or something like that. I don't even think it is that old, but anyway, I literally just use it for Plex. So, if you don't know, Plex is like Netflix for your own content. So I've got all my movies, all my TV shows, all my home videos, all my music, everything is just, it's basically a big storage server. It has a crap GPU and a crap CPU, and I run the Plex application. I run all my downloaders and stuff on it as well, but it basically runs Plex. And it runs it fine, but the better and more intensive media content gets, so larger file sizes, different codecs and things like that, the harder my Plex server finds it to transcode it. I'm even boring myself talking about this, but your Plex client is what you watch the thing on. So on a smart TV you might have a Plex client. They're terribly shit and can't play the thing, so it relies on the server to transcode it to send it to you so you can watch it, and the server goes, oh, this is really hard. So you have to get another, like a Fire Stick or an Apple TV or something that's got a good Plex client on it that can then just direct play it, and you don't need to do any transcoding, and then it's fine. But then I have to have extra things, and I don't want extra things. If I moved Plex onto my desktop, because it's got a really good CPU, it would transcode whatever without any, wouldn't even break sweat, it would be fine with it. But I kind of like to keep them separate, so I have one kind of dirty server and one kind of clean gaming / editing rig. And the server is just good because the form factor it has lots of hard drive bays, so it's kind of neat. But I've got so many hard drives in it that they're just kind of stuffed in there everywhere. So I can hear somebody going, oh, why don't you get a NAS? Because I don't want a NAS, because they just pay a lot of money for what is effectively a server. So what I'm looking for is one case to rule them all. One case that has lots of hard drive bays, a couple of expansion cards for extra SATA drives and SATA ports and things. Then I can just have one big desktop doing everything. So I'm kind of waiting for the server to just die, which will probably happen when I move all the fish back into Megatank, because they'll splash everything and it'll go psst and explode. So that's a long-winded way of me saying the server's not great. The desktop PC now is good. It could probably do everything. That's kind of what I'll do to it. Does that make sense? Whew. Kimberly can hear and see fine. She's probably gone now because I've bored her to tears. Anyway, right, sorry. I'll try and catch up a little bit. Oh, sorry, I'm going to cut into this. I gave up building my own PC since last time I ordered parts from Newegg and they sent me 3 DOA Mobos in a row. Yeah, so when I was having all my trouble, I was constantly going, is it because this is just dead? Is it what? Oh no, it's ended up bending a CPU pin while moving them about, and that's my fault. So yeah, I've got I mean, it's old. It's a 3600, an AMD CPU that I broke a pin off. So it's no use to man or beast. Unless I get the most accurate soldering job in the world, I could maybe get it back on, but I think it's just dead. But yeah, it sucks. It's like, yeah, build your own, it's much better, it's that much cheaper. It's not really, and you do open yourself up to those kind of problems. Gazzy's Poicond. The beer of choice, we're starting off old school. I'm going with the Franny Cranny Premium Weiss Beer from Franzi Kenner Weiss Beer. And then I'm saving my good beers for Hogmanay, but I've got one of my little critters beers. We'll have that in a bit. Brian says, are we going to get a Hawaii 5-0 video from Mel? I think we should. It's only fair. Pardon me. Asian arowana are quite interesting. I do like the idea of Asian arowana. I'm not saying it won't happen, because Megatank could accommodate an Asian arowana. I think it might be too similar in shape to Gordon that they might fall out. So I don't think it's on the cards anytime soon. But yeah, they are cool. Fill the tank with koi, and then when they grow, build a pond. Hey, I've got a pond already. It's just not a koi pond because it's more of a wildlife pond. It's currently filled with 5,000 goldfish. A koi pond could be on the cards. Oh, I can't say that too loud. The wife will hear me. I would like to build a proper koi pond with proper filtration and just do it properly. I'm saying the word proper a lot because if you've seen my pond build, that's not done properly. It's more of a wildlife pond. Just let things happen. If whatever comes, and it's not over filtered. It's not really thought out like a koi pond. I'm sure it could accommodate koi, and I've seen smaller ponds with koi in them. I just have to maybe upgrade the filtration a little bit, but I like the idea of a kind of semi-raised koi pond. I've got the perfect area where I could put it. But yeah, that might be a bridge too far in terms of the wife approval factor. I'm trying to convince my partner into building me a fish tank wall for my discus. A lot of planning involved. Yeah, it's a lot easier if the wall aquariums are great and they do look good, and they're a lot easier if the other side of the wall is something you don't really care about, because then you can just have all the gubbins. If the other side of the wall was the inside of a cupboard, for instance, perfect, dead easy. Well, not dead easy. Easy enough for someone like me to do. And I'm an idiot. That's why I say it like that. But if it's in between two rooms and you want to be able to look at it from both sides, then a little bit extra planning has to go into it. But they would look cool. Sack off Megatank, save the glass, 2024 is double-decker bus tank. Maybe a proper project like that. There is another YouTube channel with a name very similar to yours, in that the alliteration works. So I'm dead jealous of it because it was a name I wanted. They're called Dramatic Aquatics. Aquarium Delirium. Dramatic Aquatics. They're up your neck of the woods as well. They built a car aquarium. I think it was like a Nissan Micra or something that they filled with fish. That was pretty cool as a project. It's probably a terrible idea and really inappropriate and hard to maintain and all those things. But it was a fun project. It looked good. Scott's got a mini desktop aquarium. I think it holds like 1/4 of a litre, just about big enough for an Oscar. Yeah, maybe 2. How about opening up the hole in the wall and do an indoor pond for some cold water fish? I mean, I did have one crazy idea of like Megapond being connected, Megatank being connected to my pond, and Megatank essentially being like an indoor version of it, and building some kind of fish bridge, because they're roughly at the same height. The top of Megatank is roughly where, I think I'd need to be more accurate about it, but outside it's kind of at the same height, so maybe do something there. But that would be, I can't think about it. Tim got the Temu plastic razor scrapers. Santa was most generous. Someone spent all of £1 on you. Excellent. Ian's here, late to the party, distracted by the darts. I was watching the darts recently as well, yeah. I'm quite into the darts, as you will have seen with my dartboard above there. Have you seen that 45-year-old, 16-year-old? Which are you for CPU, red or blue? Both. So my PC is red and my server is blue. I'm brand agnostic. Whatever's best for whatever it is I want to do. I'm the only one that doesn't understand the word as Graham was saying. It's something to do with computing. Yeah, so CPU being red or blue. Red is AMD, blue is Intel. They're the two main players. Is there any others? I know some other people used to try and make them, but yeah, so you Intel or AMD. I was going to order a wee selection of foods, but the site's saying you're out of stock on shrimp sticks. Do you know if you're due any in? Bear with me, caller. I have some in. I shall update that. I could probably do that while we're waiting, or shall I just remember to do it later? Remove the golf grass and add a lake. Oh, that would be great, wouldn't it? I could just dig up everything, have one big massive lake. How about an electric eel tank? Interested. I've definitely thought about an electric eel. I like the idea of, who was it that had that? Somebody had an electric eel tank where they hooked it up to like an LED sign, so as whenever it did its thing, it lit up the sign. That was quite good. Archer fish in Megatank so they can squirt water everywhere. Yeah, that's definitely the next thing I need. An outdoor turtle tank. Oh, I don't know. A wintering pond. Yes, potentially. Graham on the mini digger was hysterical. Both hysterical and life-threatening. That is my motto, Gaz. Better to ask for forgiveness than permission when it comes to that sort of thing. Very much so. But the garden is Missy's Adventure's domain. I'm surprised I was allowed to any kind of pond. So I just know I wouldn't get forgiveness, so there's no point in going with that theory there. Dramatic haven't posted in a while. I'm sure him and Pond Guru worked. Yeah, I think they were like when he had a shop, they worked together or something like that. I'm not sure. That'll be why the server is pants. The server's just, it's an old Intel. I mean, it's an i7, but it's like a 4770 or something like that, so it's quite old. Aren't most computers Intel? No. Well, I don't know. I don't know what the market share is. It used to be if you wanted to do anything, 61% of processors are Intel in 2023. So yeah, most are Intel. But when you're as old as I am, you remember AMD being terrible, and then recently they've been really good, and they put Intel to shame for the last few years, and then Intel have made a comeback. But there used to be certain applications you wanted certain things for. ARM, yes, I suppose you get some ARM processors, but meh. But I would have said it was kind of a 50-50 split, but I guess it's, as of the fourth quarter of 2023, it was a 60-40 split. Darts update. Ando the Great is through. MVG whitewashed. This is almost like to a non-computing person, to a non-darts person. Ando the Great is through. MVG whitewashed. Bunting, Dobie, Smith just started. Away, Dobie man. Ohio Fisher, that's who had the electric eels, wasn't it? Yes. Tennessee Aquarium has an amazing electric eel tank with enrichment and tank busters. Reminder about calendar spiel. Yes, this is your last chance to order this year if you want a calendar. I've already got mine set to January. I've turned it to January. Remember, we've got two great causes we're trying to raise money for. We've got the Freshwater Life Project, as well as the Amazon Research Centre for Ornamental Fishes. Every penny gets donated, so all your money gets donated to those two causes, 50-50. The printing and that is covered by our good friends over at Elite Logos for You, who do my merch and stickers and all kinds of good stuff. They've donated the calendars themselves. I'm covering the postage. So everything you do, we'll get that next week. We'll probably give the money live on stream, as Nabokov is putting in there. Get your calendar today. There are some links, and there's also a GoFundMe if you don't want a calendar and you just want to give some money. Do that one. Ohio Fish Rescue had the electric eel that lit up the sign. That's the one. The eel's name is Tesla. Very good. Both of mine are Intel. I don't know if the lab one is or not. I only use it for large data. I have to wear a lab coat, so use it. I mean, from what I know is, it's completely different between a laptop, a desktop, a server, and enterprise. So they all have different demands on different things. For ages, AMD have been miles ahead of Intel in the server world, purely because they got the processing to power ratio was so good. They were that much more efficient that if you're running things that cost you thousands of pounds in electricity, if you can bring that down by hundreds of pounds a day, brilliant. If you had, I think it was like things like scientific, big data, music, production, Intel had the slightest of leads on very specific things like that. Gaming they always did quite well in, but AMD caught up in recent years on that side of things. But for sheer brute force and bulk and power, AMD have been kind of leading the way, and Intel have been playing catch up for a long time. So you can get pretty much everything you want to do can be done by either of them. But when you get into the enterprise world, it's very much about what is that server for. Then you need this type of CPU because it'll just cost you too much money if you get the other one to do it. They can both do them. It's about what one to do it best. Intel are miles behind with tech. AMD's way better. I mean, we get into the territory of PlayStation versus Xbox here. They both do the same sort of things. One does one thing better, the other does another thing better. They both do the same thing. They both play games. But depending which game you want to play, this is an analogy, I'm not saying you buy a server to play games, one might be better for your scenario than the other. Pretty much everything that's a video game console is AMD now. There's ARM, Apple, but yeah, lots of studies, not funded by Intel, that show they're getting whooped. Yeah, I don't care. I went with AMD because I already had an AMD motherboard, so I wasn't going to switch the motherboard out. So, if I was buying all new, I would be looking at what's cheaper, AMD or Intel. They're both pretty good. Steam has it at 67% Intel. Yeah, I mean, gamers seem to always stick with Intel for some reason. But it's probably the same sort of thing, that if you have that, if you're in that ecosystem already, you're not going to change. Graham, what do you think? What do you think to have member to your channel, and at what sub count do you do it? What do you think to have member to your channel, and at what sub count do you do it? Do you mean when should you offer membership? I don't know, to be honest. There used to be a thing that you had to have a certain amount of subs to be able to offer memberships, but I think that's changed now, and pretty much anyone can offer memberships. I think if you want to offer memberships, you should. You just have to be upfront about it, what you're going to give for that membership. So, in my case, if you want to be a member, you get a warm, happy feeling knowing you're supporting me and nothing else. Because I don't have time to create extra content. I don't have time to do extra stuff. So it's just a way to support me. It's a way to help me make more videos because I can afford the time and the expense of the things that it costs. You get emojis. You get fancy emojis that you can use. If you go for the hero subs, you get 10% off my website. So that is something, I suppose. Every now and again, I will do a members only post or a members only video, but it might be a 5-minute thing, and I just don't do it often enough to be able to say that's a perk. And I don't really like that side of things, saying, well, I'm only going to give some content to members. I'm not going to give it to everybody, because I think I'm not a production company. This isn't professional. This isn't professional stuff, as you will well know. So I feel a bit bad about paywalling some of it. It just doesn't sit right with me. So I offer memberships, because if you want to support me, thank you. I'll give you the option to do it, but it's more... I just thought it would put people off if I was saying, well, here's my regular content, but if you want to see all of it, you have to join as a member. Now, if I had 100,000 subs and this was my job, and maybe I could make some more behind the scenes content, then maybe it would make sense, but I don't think it's on the cards for me to ever have it as another revenue stream where I have to do extra things to make it worth it. So I think it's down to you. What kind of members, what kind of viewers do you have? What kind of schedule do you have? Are you able to offer different stuff? So where I've seen it in some, what was I thinking? Pardon me. I watch a few. I'm not a mechanic or anything, but I watch a few channels about cars and rebuilding cars and things like that, where they've said, well, if you join as a member, we do like the deep dives. So where the main video might talk about, right, we're going to do the timing on this engine, and they'll spend 30 seconds talking about it. If you're a member, they'll put up the whole video, the whole 3 hours of them sorting the timing of that engine. So that might be worth it, but I couldn't find a way to make that work with my content. I didn't spend a lot of time thinking about it, to be fair, but it's more about I've seen some people say, I'll never offer memberships. I wouldn't say never, because some people genuinely want to support you, and it's a way for people to support you. And thank you. But I just have to think very carefully about what you're offering for that, I guess. I've got a Christmas jumper that looks like a Commodore 64 loading screen. So as far as Commodore 64, that's probably worth a few bob these days. I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a calendar today. Didn't you get a calendar? I'm sure you've ordered one already. Or I might have put my foot in it there. Lisa's late again, but in time for the quiz. You are indeed in time for the quiz. We've got 10 minutes to go. Remember, everyone, we will start the quiz. The quiz will crash, and then we'll start the quiz again. Shall we just get on with that bit now? Waiting for it to crash. Let me host it. Why is there no music? Why be there no music? Alright, bear with me, everyone. I need to see if I've broken YouTube. No. Okay, there's no music. Oh, yes there is. There's the quiz link. If you want to play the quiz, jump in there, wait for it to crash, and then we'll do it again in 10 minutes. I like the Nintendo Switch for playing games. Yeah, why not? I've not had a Switch. That's one of the ones I've not tried, and my kids haven't got into. Last question. I was at the fish shop last week. Did you give away all the calendars, or I forget how you decided to do it? We gave away a couple of them last week. We'll give away a couple this week as well. Is it worthwhile, or is it more off putting to your subs? So that's the membership thing. I think it's worth offering and then see what happens, basically. Uh, 503,000, but YouTube push you into selling memberships as they tax it. Yes, that is a good point. So for a membership, say I sell a membership at £5, I think I get about 3 of that. So if you really want to support me, just give me money. Membership, super chats, YouTube tax, all that. So that's why they always tell you to push it as much as possible. So things like Patreon, I think I have a Patreon, I don't think I've used it ever, are better. And things like, I think I might even have a link down below where you can just make a donation to PayPal, that kind of thing, where you get all the money. But it's just more interactions, because if you have members, YouTube might be more likely to push your channel, because it's all going to the almighty algorithm, and it all makes a difference. Distracted by Gordon, it looks like he's looking at us. Like, he's probably thinking, the lights have been on for quite a while now, big lad. Why have we not been fed? I might give them something to eat while we wait for the quiz to get... I feel it's a little awkward saying you have to pay to see X. Exactly, that's one of my feelings as well. I just don't like paywalling some of my content, because I don't think it's good enough to paywall. That's Gordon just missed all of that because he was too greedy. I think we should challenge Mal to sing Blade in Races while wearing the Hawaii shirt doing a water change. I asked because I knew you'd be honest about it, and I would like to offer more for my subs, but not to make more money from them, if you know what I mean. Yeah, you can offer like a really, really cheap one just so as you get memberships, because I do think that is a thing where if you have a bunch of members, YouTube sees you as a little bit more successful, and they're likely to push your stuff a little bit more. So, like if you're a smaller channel and you get 500 views on a video, but you have 20 members, they'll go, oh well, that might be more like a 5,000 sub channel, so we'll push that a little bit more. I don't know if that's true. That's just something I've been thinking about. This is bad. It's almost 10 o'clock and I've lost count of the amount of glasses I've nicked in the last hour. Scott's going to be a man down soon, or the most hilarious man in the world. Maybe members could get a 24-hour webcam on Megatank and your phone number to text if the water level starts going down. Hey, that's not a bad idea, actually. Okay, Brian and Mal have started a wee sing-song between themselves. Never sub to them. They get enough, though. Only the big ones. Are you aware of any fish tank calculators to see what thickness glass I need to use for making a rimless tank? Yes, but I can't remember of the name of them. Jump on Discord. And if I remember, I'll do a Google and figure out which one was which. Now, I know I say this every week, but maybe the quiz will work this week. Got 17 players in so far, so, you know, don't just wait for it to crash and join the next one. It might work, You never know. We might just have to go for it. Rebecca says, I'm not sure I could ask for members, given a borderline can't think of videos to make that would be better as an article. I guess that's the thing. It's what are you going to do with memberships? So you're quite a good case, I think, where you could maybe offer early access to things. So if you had written an article for your website, for instance, or were thinking of publishing, I don't know the legalities of sharing things early, but something that you could share early to your members so they get early access to it, and then the wider release. That might be a thing to do. I know a few people who release their videos early to members and then release it to other people. Again, that's not really my thing. Just give it a bash. It's being wonky on my end. It's definitely crashing. It could do. But what I don't want to happen is it to not crash and you haven't played. Have you dealt with removing tannins from driftwood in a large tank before? I have. I generally came up to the idea of saying, why bother? I quite like tannins, but if you really want to get rid of them, things like carbon, obviously, but God, what am I thinking of? The Seachem one that you recharge with bleach. That was very good at it. I've had a beer, I cannot remember the name of it. But that, other than that, and water changing constantly or soaking them in a bath constantly for about a year, just learn to love Purigen. That's the one. Thank you, Scott. Learn to love tannins, and then you don't have to worry about it. We're up to 25, 3 minutes to go, and I think I'll get a wee beer out. Again, we're trying a Little Critters. This is the Little Critters Headbanger Session IPA. Only 4.4% alcohol by volume, thank God. Some of the Goat American hops, Mosaic, Citra, Simcoe. It's a Session IPA to rock your world. And thank you to everyone who emailed Little Critters to say how wonderful they were and that I was promoting them, hoping that they'd give me a sponsorship. You'll be delighted to know they haven't been in touch. Nevertheless, I continue to quite like their beers. I'm only having one of theirs tonight because I want to save their beers for Hogmanay, which, as you know, as a Scotsman, is like a holy night. It's the biggest day in the calendar, so I want to save the good beers for the Hogmanay. Or, if you are to email Little Critters in Sheffield, Neep's End, and tell them I'm having to ration because their beers are quite expensive. If they want to sponsor me and send me some more beers, or tell me to come and pick them up, I'll even come and pick them up. Little Critters, available in some shops around Sheffield. It's very nice. As a man who did not like weird IPA beers, this is some of the best bit. Oh, so smooth. Yum, 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 yum. That's shameless shilling done. I seem to be in the quiz queue, which is a surprise as work normally blocks any sites like that. Non-branded resin beads, that's the ones, yeah. You had that one before and liked it. I bought a selection box of Little Critters and I liked all of them. This is my least favourite, but it's still delicious. I like that idea. Put your bogwood in your toilet system. Every time you flush the toilet, it removes more tannins. That's it. Say hi to Rebecca. You're left. It's crashed. We knew it was going to happen, didn't we? Let's sign in again. So, we knew it was going to happen. What were we on? 145? 146? 14 something? 142? No? I can't see it. I'm going to have to delete some of these old ones so as I can see the ones in front of me. It's this one, isn't it? Right, ready for the link again. Here is the link. No one take the fish because Rebecca gets upset. I think we've got about 25 players, so when we get up to 25, we'll kick off. Those of you who are new here, Purple Burglar Arm, what are you playing at? Get rid of that fish right now. The quiz crashes every week, and then it works fine. Which is better than the other quiz, which randomly crashed halfway through, and we could never get through to the bloody end of it. Bootied. Yep. Definitely crashed all to hell. Bogwood in the system would also reduce the amount of water usage. Yeah, environmentally conscious. I like it. That's the way. Yeah, like when people used to put bricks in the toilet during the war. Someone stole it. I know, they're horrible. It's bullying. Oh, you've got it back. Oh, well done. I even have a proper mouse for speed. I like the idea of people having their gaming computers to play the quiz. I reckon it's a weekly server reboot or something. Oh, maybe we should change the quiz to like 9:30. See if that makes a difference. Might try that next week. It gave me the fish. I didn't take it. Oh dear. Right, we're up to 26. If you haven't rejoined yet, there's still a chance. 27. Wow. Remember, it's fastest finger first. All the questions are not about fish. I was going to say for a change, but you know, not for a change. The faster you get a question correct, the more points you get. Whoever gets the most points will get a prize. That's about it. Are we ready to go? Can you hear the music? Do you want to hear the music? I don't care. 3, 2, 1, go! Question 1. What was the average global life expectancy in 2023? Is it 73, 69, 78, 57? Wow. You all answered quickly, and it was indeed 73. Well done, 13 people. Monkey cheese. Nice one. Question number 2. Who won Wimbledon men's single title in 2023? The Wimbledon men's singles title. Was it Carlos Alcaraz? It was Carlos Alcaraz. It was not Novak Djokovic. He got beat. And he was not happy about it. I like all this. Fastest finger first, really going for it. Not Christine. Well done. What is the period between Christmas and New Year known as? What day is it, Miss? Twixmas, Chockmas, or Deadmas? It is indeed Twixmas, as you might have seen from the name of this stream, the Twixmas stream. Question number 4. Footage of the deepest living fish, the snailfish, ever recorded was taken where this year? So, off the coast of. Was it Japan, Mexico, South Africa, or Australia? It was Japan. That was a question on a previous quiz, you may remember. Question number 5. Which of these sports will not be added to the Olympics in 2024? Breakdancing, surfing, netball, or climbing? Oh dear. It's netball. Well done to people. Netball has never been an Olympic sport because they can't get enough countries that play it. Breakdancing is very big in France apparently, so they're having that. Who hosts Channel 4's Big Fat Quiz of the Year? Is it Anton Dick, Jimmy Carr, Ricky Gervais, or Jean-Claude Van Damme? Apologies to all our non-UK viewers who might not see Big Fat Quiz of the Year. But it is Jimmy Carr. Well done, Nabo. Maybe you do get Big Fat Quiz of the Year. Or it was just a guess. What was named Oxford Dictionary Word of the Year in 2023? Was it hallucinate, situationship, Riz, or swifty? As you've all answered, it was only today that I found out what this word meant. It was Riz. So all the kids used Riz. Talk about Riz. Who's got Riz? Who's not got Riz? Riz me up. All that kind of stuff. And I don't know what that is. It stands for charisma, or it's derived from charisma. Which is obvious now that I say it. In 2023, at 21 years old, Peanut was confirmed as the oldest living what? Rabbit, chicken, betta fish, guinea pig. It was a chicken. It's still going, apparently. If Riz is a word, we're in hell. What was the title of Prince Harry's memoir? Was it Backup, Spare, Ginger, or Second? It was Spare. An heir and a spare. That's what every good king needs. Whoa, 1.5 seconds. It's me. That's a fast one there. Halfway point. Question 10. What was the most popular girl's baby name in 2023? Freya, Isabel, Lily, or Olivia? These were all in the top 5. In the UK, this is. Little Critters Beer. Delighting Graham for a couple of months now. It was Olivia. I think it's been Olivia for like 3 years now. There's going to be a lot of Olivias at school in a few years' time. How would you express 2023 in Roman numerals? Numberals, even? It's meant to say numerals. I clearly can't spell. Is it MMCIII, MMVIII, MMXXIIV, or MMXXIII? That's the last one. It is the red one. Who is the leading goal scorer of 2023 so far? Because I think there's technically one game left. Harry Kane, Kylian Mbappe, Cristiano Ronaldo, or Erling Haaland? Again, apologies to Americans. This is football or soccer. It's Cristiano Ronaldo scoring goals for fun in Saudi Arabia. Nabo with the other 2 UK questions. How many videos did I publish in 2023? 70, 60, 50, 40. Or 40, 50, 60, 70. Unless I release one in the next couple of days, then it'll be wrong. It was 60. Generally one a week with a couple of extras. Not including live streams. I think I did 50 live streams. I had 2 weeks off. What was removed from the celebrations lineup this year? Snickers, Bounty, Maltesers, or Crunchy? I'm going to guess that it'll be split between Snickers and Bounty, because that's the ones everyone says, who nobody likes them. It was Bounties. Shadow with a 1.5 second guess there, or maybe not a guess. 200 points already, only 15 questions in. What was 2023's highest grossing movie? Are those candy? Yeah, Celebrations is like a mixture of chocolate bars and stuff like that. You get in a big tub you give to people for Christmas. It was indeed Barbie. Where did King Charles make his first state visit to? Germany, US of A, France, or Canada? A bounty, for those wondering, is disgusting. It's a chocolate bar with coconut. It was Germany. Apparently he did his first state visit to Germany, according to the website I saw. In what month was Twitter rebranded as X? July. Well, the top 3 are all over 200. 3 questions to go. Who had the most popular song of 2023? Was it Harry Styles, As It Was? Was it SZA, Kill Bill, Taylor Swift, Bad Blood, or Miley Cyrus, Flowers? It was Miley Cyrus. I thought it was Taylor Swift. That's why Taylor Swift was an option, because she seems to be the answer to all questions relating to music these days. If in doubt, Taylor Swift. Who was outwitted by Greta Thunberg in a pizza box in the same week this year? Was it Boris Johnson, Andrew Tate, Jean-Claude Van Damme, or Sylvester Stallone? It was that epic douchebag, Andrew Tate. Oh, it's tight at the top on the last question. What animal represents 2024 in the Chinese zodiac? Monkey, rat, dragon, tiger. Monkey, rat, dragon, tiger. Picture's a clue. It's dragon. So, Juggler's third. Wow. Nabo second. Rebecca's first. Wow, taking it on that last second there. Congratulations, everyone. Now, did we get above 50% correct? No, not even close. I thought that'd have been easier. Wow. Oh, but look at that. 12 questions correct to Nabo's 9. Juggler only with 10. Oh, poor old Taco down there also got 12 correct, but just too slow. MD down 10. Ah, that was harder than I thought then. I thought that was quite easy. One other thing I was toying with the idea of if we could farm out Quizmaster. So you know where we said whoever wins the quiz gets to pick the theme for the next week. So Rebecca, you get to pick the theme for next week. We might also offer out Quizmaster host spots. That was the big fat hardest quiz of the year. I didn't think it was that hard, but I knew all the answers. Maybe that's why I didn't think it was hard. So I'm sorry, everyone. But yes, well done, Rebecca. Congratulations. Another round of applause. You've won a thing. I haven't decided what that thing is. So last week we gave away... Okay. Last week we promised to give away this. I still haven't given it away, obviously, because it's still here. I will do all my posting needs to be done. So last week we gave away that for Christmas. Or was it that? We gave away again, still not posted, it's still here. I'll get around to it, I promise. So we've got a Fluval Aqua Sky. I think Juggler won that. Can't remember who won that. But we've also got the Glorium light. So if you want the Glorium light, you can have that. What else could we do? Anything you've seen around here in any of my videos, if you want that, you can have that. Let me know, or a hoodie, or I don't know. I haven't thought this through, as you can probably tell. But if you want a thing, you can have a thing. Otherwise, I'll just send you some random tat that I find lying around. Yes, I imagined it would be all about Latin pronunciations of various catfishes. Rebecca the fish is looking at the prizes to pick for Rebecca the human. Are we saying that this is called Rebecca now? Is that what we were talking about earlier? So, if you have won a prize, if you won last week's quiz and you haven't already done it, please send me an email. So close. There you go. Send me an email to say, I won that thing. Send me that thing. And I will send you that thing, because we gave away a couple of calendars as well. So I know you haven't ordered the calendar yet, but you also win a calendar, Rebecca. Woo! Who was second? Nabo was second. Juggler was third. You've both got calendars, so fine. We'll do a giveaway in a little while for anyone else that's interested in winning a calendar. And then I think we'll have given away all Nabo's calendars at that point. The fastest mouse one, indeed. Can we do 19th century German philosophy next week? Of course we can. I'll throw in a few of those questions. Let me just, a point of order. King Charles, first state visit. King Charles' first state visit. What to expect from Germany? He made a good start in Hamburg, which is in Germany. So, he did go to Germany. Darts update. Chris Dobie just whitewashed Michael Smith. Away the lads, party in the Toon. Tim says, not only was I beaten by the missus, but also by my daughter. I thought that would be quite an easy one. If anybody watched the Big Fat Quiz of the Year, I did steal a lot of their questions. Is that Andrew Lincoln, the guy who plays Rick? Andrew Tate? No, Andrew Tate is just a massive douchebag. I don't even know why he's famous. He's famous for being a dick, I think. I don't think there's more to it than that. I don't know. Wasn't he like a boxer or something? Not a boxer. I don't know. I don't know why he's famous. He's famous for being a dick and saying dickish things. But he was on the run, living in Romania, for suspected human trafficking. And he got into a Twitter spat with Greta Thunberg because he made the boast about having 6 Bugattis and all this kind of stuff, and then he attacked Greta by saying something along the lines of whatever it was, and her response was just, tell me you've got a tiny penis without having a tiny penis, without saying you've got a tiny penis. And he went mental, and his video response included a pizza box from his local pizzeria. So the police went, there you are, and went round and arrested them. Because he's a dick. A world champion kickboxer. Was he? I think he was a shitty kickboxer who decided, I'm just going to talk shit on the internet. He's a British social media personality, businessman, and former professional kickboxer. He was on Big Brother. Yeah, he was like a mediocre everything. Oh no, he did get a championship in 2009. 4-time world champion. Wow. Still a twat. Anyway. I have not won, but to honour the woke mentality, I think I should get a light for taking part. I mean, I've only got so many lights. I can't give away a light every week. Unless, of course, Fluval. I have been in contact with my friend at Fluval, who apparently in January I'm being sent something, a new CO2 kit that Fluval are thinking of releasing, which, if I'm reading everything correctly, it looks like it's the middle step between DIY CO2, you know, when you get yeast and ferment things in bottles and all that kind of stuff like that. It seems to be the step in between that and going for a full pressurized CO2 system. So it looked quite interesting to me. So looking forward to trying that. If we get that, I might get 2 again, and if we do, I'll give 1 away. So all I want to say, if you've won a thing recently and I haven't sent you the thing, remind me. Send me the thing there. Send me an email telling me who you are, where you are, what you want, what you won, what I told you I would give you, and I'll get around to doing it. Early next week I'm going to send off those things. Or I might be cheap and just drive round if you live near here. Does anyone live in Sheffield that's won anything? That'd be quite useful. Rid of the email. Right, and as it's Christmas, I'm now going to have my favourite beer. I don't mean any offence to anyone who might be watching from Little Critters, my favourite beer company. But my joint favourite beer, Heathen from Northern Monk. If anyone from Northern Monk is watching, top favourite beer. I can't split whether it's this one or the parrot one from Little Critters or the tiger one from Little Critters. They all occupy the top spot evenly. But this is the easiest to get one that you can get in the supermarket. And you can't see through it. Smells delicious. Oh. Rebecca is delighted. I'm not sure I agreed to any of this naming. So this is Rebecca. Medusa is the darker one. That's Medusa. When did we agree this? Are you aware of this? Are you on board with this, Brian? Shake your head if you're not on board. Didn't think so. No, Wild and the Grouch. Okay, we're going to have some kind of official naming ceremony. So if you haven't already, join the Discord server. I'll stick a poll up later. A bit too far to deliver in Cornwall. Well, why I was saying that is one of my other potential New Year resolutions was to get out a bit more and travel the country and see some good fishy sites, whether that be like some good fish shops, some public aquariums like the Deep or and other sea life centres, but some sea life centres are better than others, or hidden gems. Maybe you've got a fish shop near to you that's not big, it's not massive, doesn't have loads of exotic stuff in it, but it's got really good staff, it's got really good husbandry, really good advice, people that work there are really committed or whatever. So maybe I will get around the country a little bit more next year. So I'm also upset. It's hard to say. I'm also accepting submissions of come to Cornwall because we've got X, or come to Edinburgh and see the such and such, or come to, I don't know, Norfolk because my fish shop's great, I want to show you round. Maybe we could do things like that. Graham gets off his butt, drives around a little bit, and shows off some of the good things that are happening there rather than just moaning about things. It looks like Grumpy Sod, the Oscar. All Oscars look like Grumpy Sods, don't they? Especially when they're cramped up in a tank like this with two big bastards over there going, have some. It wasn't it only last week we emailed Little Critters, so they might be watching this and you're I'm not slating them. Little Critters, two of your beers occupy my top spot. This is not one of them, but this occupies my second slot. This is just in a tie for the top slot. I'm all about the local. I think these guys are in Leeds or something like that, so yeah. Whereas Little Critters, they're just round the corner. I've actually been there and seen the big vats and everything. Oh, but it's nice though. Maybe I should get into beer brewing. What you do with your Oscars is something best kept to yourself. Oscar Wilde and Oscar the Grouch. Wilde and Grouch, I get it. Come to Norfolk, I'll show you around. There you go. It's a date. That might be a thing to do. Plymouth National Aquarium is excellent if you're driving silly distances. Yeah, I might make a reason to drive silly distances. I sent some stuff on Discord. It was probably the middle of the night for you. Check out the Green Aqua blooper video intro. Really amazing. Okay, I will do. And then basically it's inspiring to work on a escape tank of some kind. I don't think it was the middle of the night. I think it was my computer was in various states of infuriating me, so I never actually got to do anything. Come to Huddersfield because we have Nav. Well, yeah, I could go to Huddersfield and go, look at the nothing for miles around. I was in Huddersfield the other day, actually. No, I wasn't. I was in Holmfirth, and I avoided going to Huddersfield, thankfully. My wife's got this new, she's probably listening, I shouldn't say this, but she's got this new hobby of looking on Facebook for furniture that we apparently need. That we can't just go to a shop and buy, we have to find it on Facebook and drive all around bloody... So anyway, I've been on lots of trips recently to look at old bits of furniture for her to go, no, don't like it. I couldn't tell that from the bloody picture. Anyway. And one of them was in Huddersfield, but the other one was in Holmfirth. And we went to the Holmfirth one, and it was rubbish. And then I had a bit of a hissy fit because it had a picture of it. So we didn't go to Huddersfield. Maybe a plant trip in future. Yes. Well, I have to do something with plants. I've been thinking about setting up a couple of those tanks as planted tanks if I'm going to get some CO2 stuff from Fluval and do a CO2 versus non-CO2, get the same amount of plants in the same tanks with the same stocking and do one versus the other. Come to North Shield. Oh, I don't know about that. We're that far away, it's still 1995. Hey, I could come there. I have family in Newcastle. I could come in that general direction. The New Forest has wild tree ups and medicine leeches. Wow. New Forest as in the New Forest with all the horses. That's a potential holiday destination for us for a quick break next year. Next year. Went there a few years ago and went camping in the New Forest. That was quite strange. Getting the tent stampeded by horses and cows. Our dog's called Oscar, as are many other dogs. Maybe switch it and call one of them Dog. Dog the fish. I'm a big fan of naming animals with human names. Cornwall have a pretty big aquarium on the beach at Newquay and loads of pretty poor little ones in the harbours. A very good Maidenhead aquatics near me too. Spare room if you find yourself down this way. I used to go to Newquay just about every year. The Lost Gardens of Hilligan and Eden Project are also in Cornwall. Yeah, I've been to the Eden Project a long time ago. I think it was the first year it was open. I went to the Eden Project. I'm old. Come to Norfolk, we can do a collab. I want to start making videos again. Yeah, I'm happy to lend out my YouTuberness and collabing. I went to Norfolk a couple of years ago for a holiday. Imagine. It was actually really good. We went and stayed on a farm. It was like a working farm where they had a cottage on the farm and you could go and stay in it. And we went at lambing time. And this makes one of my colleagues at work, this is his favourite ever story, where we had to get involved in the farming. So it'd be like my wife lambed some lambs, like literally pulled the lambs out. The kids looked after them, fed the ones that weren't hooking up with the mums and stuff. We had to take them to the field, we had to go and see the pigs, we had to go and do this, that and the other. And one of my jobs was baling, not hailing the bay, baling the hay even, but stacking the hay bales and stuff like that. And then one of them was the tractor and hooking up a trailer to a tractor. I'm there like the city boy going, how does one hook up a trailer to a tractor? Have you seen the back of a tractor? And how? Oh, it's very confused and very stupid. I looked very stupid, shall we say. But it was great fun. I got some brilliant pictures as well because it was in the middle of nowhere. And I think I just bought one of these cameras where I put on the hyperlapse feature and you could see the stars going across the sky with the house. So the house stationary, but it looked like the stars were just, it was great. Cornwall does not have Plymouth Aquarium. That is Devon, and they eat their young there. Holmfirth is in Huddersfield. And I thought, but it's like a subsidiary of Huddersfield, isn't it? We were meant to be going to Huddersfield proper, and we didn't. But yeah, I'll come and visit your koi pond in Huddersfield. There you go. That's not that far away. Could do that easily. Oh, Susan's clearly had enough. She's already wishing us a happy new year for 2024. Thank you, Susan. or more past Somerset or Dorset and civilization ends. Yeah, the New Forest with horses, cows, big. Yeah, we went camping in the New Forest, and I woke up to some rustling outside and went zzz, big fuck off cow straight in. Like, hello, what's going on in here? Zipped that straight back up, and then hastily got ready and opened it up, and there was like, I used to say hordes of horses, but there was like 6 of them or something like that, just right outside the tent. Like, alright, this is our gaff, you've chosen to sleep in our field. Careful, talking about doing proper scientific experiment might get you some slaps off your favourite YouTuber. Oh, my good friend, the scientific, oh, what is it? I can't even remember what he's called. Dr. David Bogart. PH twat. I don't want to appear on another list. Yeah, you're quite right. Okay, well, this seems to be getting some traction. I am more than up for just travelling about. Maybe we could do... Right, this weekend I'm going to go to X, and then if any of you are up for it, we'll go and visit a fish shop together, or go and visit a site, or whatever. To begin to toboggan, first buy a toboggan, but don't try too big a toboggan. Too big a toboggan is too big a toboggan to buy tobogganing. I feel like you're trying to tongue twister me into submission there. Can't offer much in Bristol. Our zoo realistically is gone. The aquarium is a bit sad. The stores are okay and the area is a little small. I've never been to Bristol, I must admit. North Somerset. I used to go to North Somerset. Oh, that's in that general area. Taunton, Torridge, North Somerset, Clevedon. I had some offices there I had to visit every now and again. She stood on the balcony, inexplicably mimicking him hiccuping. That's hard to say as well. She stood on the balcony, inexplicably Très difficile. She stood on the balcony, inexplicably mimicking him hiccuping and amicably welcoming him in. If you must cross cow across a crowded cow crossing, cross the course cow across the... No. Aquarium Pseudoscience has a YouTube channel. I hope not. Aquarium Science. My old friend David. I love how he gave me a mention. That's my favourite thing that's happened in 2023. Aquarium Science gave me a mention as a channel to avoid. We've made it! Now, this is an idea. I'm potentially interested in doing this one. Travel and review the auctions around the country. New series, Aquarium Adventures to auctions and shops. Well, the only auctions I've ever been to, I think bar one, have all been my local auction. And as much as I love them and they're great fun, they are infuriating. And some of the people, when I go there, they're from other societies and they come and say, oh, come to our auction. It's not like this shit show. It's great fun. And they're not that bad, but they are. Okay. So, like Preston nets, lots of different auctions around the country. Yeah, it would be fun to go and see what the difference is. Because every time I make an auction video, the majority of the comments on that video are, "Oh, I didn't know fish auctions were a thing. Where can I go to my fish auction?" So if I travel around a bit and visit a few different ones, that might be quite good. Pardon me. Auction wars, definitely. You need to come on my Thursday night live and let rip through the koi YouTubers. I've secretly been watching a few koi YouTube channels because I have been, like I say, tempted by the 12-foot square area of my garden that I think would be perfect for a koi pond. So I've got a little bit of the koi YouTube, and then I think I've joined a few of your Thursday night. I like to sit quietly in the background and not actually chip in, because I don't know what I'm talking about most of the time. But yeah, maybe I'll come and say hello properly. Slightly related, please don't spill. Is the glass you use made by any company in particular, Libby or something? No. So the glass I've used for my tanks, I've used IKEA shelves to make glass. I've used Abbey Glass, which is a Sheffield company that they've given me both float glass and hardened glass, as well as the stuff for Mega Tank. I can't remember where I got it from, but it wasn't a particular brand or anything. The one Juggler took me to is great. Was that the Nets one? Glass in the beer stein. This, I don't know. You'd have to ask Phil at that he gave it to me as a gift one day. It just arrived. Like, here, have this thing. Don't know where it's from. I don't see any names or anything. As much as I love it, it's a very awkward glass to drink from, because it's so heavy on the bottom that by the time you get it to that point, it just goes whoosh. Let me know when I had a couple of screaming brats and sit next to you, Graham. Thank you. That's just what you need in an auction. Make me feel at home. But yeah, I just fancy getting out and meeting some people and doing some things, because I feel like I sit here every Friday quietly getting drunk and talking nonsense, and I see the same names over and over again, but I don't actually know you and I've never met you. It'd be nice to put names to faces, or faces to names even, and just generally get out a bit and see things, see more of the community. Because I have a little bit of pull in that some people watch my videos sometimes. So if I can say, look, if you live in X place, there's a fish shop that's good, there's an auction, here's a society that's good. It might be fun, who knows. Nets, yes. Northeast Tank Society? I don't know what it stands for. If you're planning to go to lots of fish auctions, you need to make a video on how you build a portable aquarium for transport. Well, yeah, you can make videos about how to transport fish for a long way and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, definitely. It's a good laugh on Gazzy's Thursday night. You should definitely join. Right, it's a date. I shall be along. Are you planning to go to Aqua in April? No, not to say I won't go, but I was planning to go to it last year and the year before that, before they cancelled it. So maybe let's go as far as maybe. As in, I haven't got the date and I haven't got it in my diary. Preston, yep, Preston's got a good society. And Bolton isn't that far away. Yeah, I'm in Bolton all the time. Northeast Tropical Society. That's the one. Oh my god, a New Year's resolution. Graham's going to socialise. I don't know if I'll socialise. I might awkwardly turn up and go, oh, hello. Which would be a bit weird. Is anyone going? Well, that's something I've heard about. And I think this is why it tanked the last time, is when they were talking about Aqua. They've clearly seen Aquashella and the like happening in America and went, right, we'll have some of that, because in the past it's always been a trade show. And when I went, the last time I went, I had to prove I was a business. I had to get business cards made up. That's the weirdest thing in the world. Can you prove you're a business? Yes, here's my accounts. No. We want a business card. For fuck's sake. And it was really popular because loads of people in the hobby were like, "Oh, what are they offering? Why are you just limiting it to the trade? Surely the trade gets a boost by showing it to the public." But anyway, I get the reasons behind it and disagree with most of them, but yeah, I kind of get it. But it is generally things that are out of the reach of most hobbyists. It's the high-end retailers going, right, okay, we make... I remember the one where it was... What do you call those big koi filters? The ones that are the big, enormous drum filters. I can't remember the name of them anyway. They were like, yeah, we've got these. They're $8 each. And you're like, all right, who's going to buy them? Yeah, well, we might sell one this year. Okay. And loads of marine stuff as well, where they've got like, this is a protein skimmer and it's like 8 feet tall. And you're like, who's buying this? Who has room in their sump for a protein skimmer that's that height? Nobody. That's who. And loads of people were like talking to me, going, "Oh, that's really good. That makes sense. Yeah, we should make a smaller one." Well, why don't you know this already? So getting feedback direct from consumer, which you think would be something they'd mostly be interested in, would be really useful. So I think if they did open it up to the public, they would get that immediate feedback of, yeah, not interested in any of that stuff you're showing me, so they'll concentrate on the stuff that is good. They had people from... I'm now forgetting everything. I remember... George Farmer was there, and I was a bit fanboyish, like, oh, that's that guy that does the aquascapes. Oh, it's him. Hello. But I think he was working for Evolution Aqua, and they were showing their line of tanks at the time, and he'd aquascaped a bunch of tanks, and they looked fantastic. And that was great, because there was loads of people there going, oh yeah, we can definitely see that, we could sell that in our shop. And the complaint that a lot of them were coming up with was they had like minimum orders and stuff like that, where they wanted deals where you had to take 40 of them. They're like, we can't sell 40. We're a small shop in Bolton. We have, I don't know, 20 customers a week, and one of them a year might buy a tank from us. There's no way that can work. I don't know where I'm going with that, but yes, it's definitely something that's interesting to me, but I just don't think we've got the right idea about it. Where we need something that's more about... I think where Aquashella and stuff like that got it right was when they adopted the... And I hate this term. They adopted the influencer marketing. They adopted that as a thing that people liked watching YouTube videos from their favourite YouTubers, and they would go to see them and be involved with them, and then all the other things that were round about were kind of extra. So you could go and see your aquarium co-op, you could go and see your King of DIY give a speech or give a talk, you could go and see all your favourite YouTubers and go, this is cool, everyone's here. Oh, and you sell this as well, do you? Oh, that's great, yeah, brilliant. Whereas now it's more... Aqua Telford, or whatever it used to be called, was more of a trade show, and it was more about... It used to be more about pets. It wasn't even about... the first year I went, it was like kind of 60% guinea pigs, rabbits, mice, dogs, cats, ferrets, whatever, and then some fish tanks at the end. The second time I went, mostly fish tanks. It was then branded Aqua, and that made more sense. So they're trying to get better, and they're obviously getting it there. But I think if they did that and they had your George Farmers there, rather than him being under the employ of Evolution Aqua or another company, if they just had him there scaping some tanks, MD fish tanks, any of the big UK YouTubers bringing their audience to come and see, look, we've made these tanks, these are some of the products we've used, these are some of the companies we used to make these scapes. Go and see their booths and see what else they've got going on. It would be a draw in and of itself. I'm not saying I would be a draw and I wouldn't be involved at that level. I'd love to go and see that kind of stuff though. So I don't know what it's going to be like, so I will probably try to go because I think it deserves a fair shake and see if it's any good. It just seemed like it was bad business. I remember the Seachem one specifically being really good because the Seachem people, the reps that were there, was it good or was it bad? The reps that were there, half of them ignored me. They didn't know I was a YouTuber, and I wasn't really there as a YouTuber. But I had a badge, and I've still got it somewhere that says Mr. YouTube, because that was my business. That's how I got in. Half of them were like, we're Seachem, we don't need to sell you our stuff. Our stuff sells itself. Whereas a couple of them, there was 2 women, 2 guys in particular, who were out walking around saying, well, what company do you work for? Who do you work for? And they were talking to some of the retailers, and I was kind of eavesdropping in the background, and they were going, what size is your shop? How many shops have you got? Oh, just the one. What kind of products do you sell at the moment? Which are our products you sell? Which ones sell? What do people ask for? What do we not sell that you need to have? And I was like, this is brilliant. This is exactly what we need. But the other ones, like I can't even remember some of the names of the companies because I think they've now folded and gone bust, where they were like, no, I'm not interested in what you want, this is what you need. And it was like the most niche, like the 8-foot tall protein screamer. Nobody needs that. Just because you make one doesn't mean it needs it. Your massive koi filters, yes, some people will need them, but there's way more people that's the aspirational filter rather than the one that they start with. So you need to build people up to that. It just didn't sit right. Evolution Aqua, that was the name of the company, yes. Actual important question, because Graham needs plants. Who has a nice planted tank they can trim for a video? I'm more than happy to go out and buy some plants. I do have a lot of plants actually, I just don't show them very often. The rotary drum filters, yeah, it wasn't them, it was I think it might have been the Evolution Aqua filters, which are by all accounts good. Why is that not working? It was the Easy Pods, the Nexus, and they were like starting at 1,500 quid, and you were like, everyone they were looking at was like, we can't sell this, and they wanted you to buy like 10. So I think they just needed to have some kind of... It was just the way they were dismissing people that were there going, right, we've got 3 shops in rural Lancashire. We might sell one of these every quarter. Okay, but you need to buy 12. Yeah, but we can only sell one a quarter. Well, 12's a minimum order. I've just put you off going to Aqua. Oh, but I don't want to do that because I think it probably could be good, and it might be better because they've had years to improve on these kind of things. I'd be fine with the guinea pigs. Yeah, well, George Farmer, for years, worked for, whether it was PFK or it didn't work for them, I think he just did articles for them, but he worked with lots of brands as like a brand ambassador or a brand face because of his work with magazines and stuff like that. And I think he was at that one as a EA person. Silver says I could front the liquid rubber stand. I'd happily do that. I'd show them how good it is at holding. What is my phone doing? I think that's my daughter needing more time. I'd happily work on the liquid rubber, a brand ambassador for liquid rubber. That'd be great. Look how much it holds water, even when you half-heartedly build the tank with the stuff and don't hold water properly. Sorry, I need to give my daughter more screen time because she's going to have a fit. There we go. Only took 2 years for the tank to hold. Yeah, I could do that. The human face of Fluval, but it's even better. Yeah, I mean, I'd be happy to be a brand ambassador for Fluval because I've used Fluval products for a long time and I like them. Look at that, I got a thank you off my daughter and an I love you. Because for me they're the perfect brand deal because I like the products. I'm happy to say this is good because I've used it for years, because I have used it for years without them paying me. So a human face for Fluval would be good in general. The company I worked for had the EA Easy Pods in store, no longer exists, likely due to money. Yeah. I think I'm right in saying Aquashella started with 2 nobbyists that had spare money. What's a nobbyist? Yes, the hobbyist. Well, it was the George, what's his face? Mavrakis, wasn't it? Coral Fish. Yeah, so he has a very popular YouTube channel and made a very popular event. It's easy. Right, we've got a couple of minutes to go. It's time for me to say, remember everyone, you've still got time to buy a calendar if you want to buy a calendar. Next week we'll do the donations to the 2 causes that we were doing. You can always click that subscribe button if you're here and you haven't been here before, and there's all those good things. Go and give the stream a like, give it a share, give it a Coralfish 12G, that's the one. I'm sure there's something you can go and watch after this if you don't want to go onto the Discord channel. Fritz was the other guy. Yeah, I think you're right. But if I don't see you before then, it's going to be New Year soon. So I'd like to say, have a happy Hogmanay. Have a happy 2024, and we'll see you very early in the new season, in the new year, with all new videos and all that kind of stuff. But thank you very much for joining me and entertaining me as much as I've tried to entertain you.